Yesterday, we have started to explore the importance of speech and the potential. So with a little reflection, we can see that speech and the written word can have enormous consequences for good or for harm. For beings such as animals, physical action is of dominant concern, but for us, for humans, immersed in verbal communication, speech gains the ascendancy. Speech can break lives, create enemies, and start wars, or it can give wisdom, heal divisions, and create peace. This has always been the case. But in the modern age, in this information age, the potential, be it positive or negative, is multiplied by the tremendous increase in the means, speech, and range of communications. The capacity for verbal expression has been regarded as the distinguishing mark for human species, for our species. So then we can realize that we can appreciate the need to make this capacity the means to human excellence rather than, as too often has been the case, the sign of human degradation. Yesterday, we have seen one example of Barack Obama giving a powerful speech. Today, we are going to explore the first type of right speech. The first out of the four types explained here, abstaining from false speech. Musawada Veramani, and this is also what we read, what we recite every morning. At least this line, to abstain from lying. Herein, someone avoids false speech and abstains from it. He speaks the truth, is devoted to truth, reliable, worthy of confidence, not a deceiver of people. Being at a meeting or amongst people or in the midst of his relatives or in a society or in the king's court, and called upon and asked as witness to tell what he knows, he answers, if he knows nothing, I know nothing. And if he knows, he answers, I know. If he has seen nothing, he answers, I have seen nothing. And if he has seen, he answers, I have seen. Thus, he never knowingly speaks a lie, either for the sake of his own advantage, or for the sake of another person's advantage, or for the sake of any advantage whatsoever. So this whole paragraph is straight from the sutta itself. So which sutta is it? Let's check footnote number 21. It's from Anguttara Nikaya, 10, Book of 10, 176. Okay. So we started to explore the false speech right from the sutta itself. And then below, we will, this text will explain deeper about the sutta. Okay, who would like to read next? How about Taekwon, would you like to read?
This statement of the Buddha discloses both the negative and the positive sides to the precept. The negative side is abstaining from lying, the positive side speaking the truth. The determinative factor behind the transgression is the intention to deceive. If one speaks something false, believing it to be true, there is no breach of the precept as the intention to deceive is absent. Though the deceptive intention is common to all cases of false speech, lies can appear in different cases depending on the motivating root, whether greed, hatred, or delusion. Greed as the chief motive results in the lie aimed at gaining some personal advantage for oneself and for those close to oneself. Material wealth, position, respect, or admiration, with hatred as the motive. False speech takes the form of the malicious lie, the lie intended to hurt and damage others. When delusion is the principal motive, the result is a less pernicious type of falsehood, the irrational lie, the compulsive lie, the interesting exaggeration, lying for the sake of a joke.
Thanks, Jackman. Okay, so let's define a few words here. Maybe guises. An external form, appearance, or manner of presentation, typically concealing the true nature of something. So the synonym here is appearance. Lies can appear in different appearances depending on the motivating roots. So firstly, greed as the chief motive results. So the purpose here is to gain material wealth, position, respect, or admiration. Can you think of an example here? A public lying with the motive of greed. Maybe the NKF gold tab. Would you consider that as lying with greed? So secondly, hatred as the motive. This one, the lie intended to hurt and damage others. Any specific example you can think of? The one you can read in the paper, or the one we can all relate to? Probably Hitler is one of the biggest example. You know, did he lie? Well, he does not specifically lie, but the underlying motive is definitely hatred. But it's probably fall under harsh speech below. The last one is when delusion is the principal motive, the result is less pernicious type of falsehood. So let's define pernicious. Having a harmful effect, but in a subtle or gradual way. So it is less harmful, but it is still a lie. The irrational lie, the compulsive lie, the interesting exaggeration, and lying for the sake of joke. And I have to confess here, I used to do this a lot. The interesting exaggeration, lying for the sake of joke, because I'm just trying to, make the situation more fun and make people laugh. So I did this quite often before I read this text. But after I read this text, I was like, oh no, this was included in the lying statement. So I started to gradually reduce these two types of lying. So yeah, I'm still working on it. So any comments from any of you? So if you guys can think of examples of all of this, maybe we can share tomorrow, do a little bit of research. Yeah. Any comments so far for the two paragraphs that we have read? Okay, if not, then we can continue reading. Okay, Chaikan, would you like to nominate the next person to read?
Sister Shomei, Doctor.
Oops.
The Buddha's stricture against lying rests upon several reasons. For one thing, lying is disruptive to social cohesion. People can live together in society only in an atmosphere of mutual trust, where they have reason to believe that others will speak the truth. By destroying the grounds for trust and inducing mass suspicion, widespread lying becomes the harbinger, signaling the fall from social solidarity to chaos. But lying has other consequences of a deeply personal nature, at least equally disastrous. By their very nature, lies tend to proliferate. Lying once and finding our words suspect, we feel compelled to lie again to defend our credibility, to paint a consistent picture of events. So the process repeats itself. The lies stretch, multiply, and connect until they lock us into a cage of falsehoods from which it is difficult to escape. The lie is thus a miniature paradigm for the whole process of subjective illusion. In each case, the self-assured creator, sucked in by his own deceptions, eventually winds up their victim.
Thanks, Shomei. So this one the text explained the snowballing effect of lying. I think these lines here, yes. Once we lie, the first time, and then the second time we feel the need to protect the first lie. So we lie the second time because of we want to paint a consistent picture because of the first lie. And then it starts to snowball to the third lie, fourth lie, until it locks us into a cage of falsehood. And it's really difficult to go back and admit because we want everything to be consistent so far. So this is the snowballing effect of lying, which I think can be quite true because of my past experience, my personal experience as well. So maybe let's define a few difficult words. Proliferate.
Hi.
Yes, Shomei.
No, nothing, Karen.
Proliferate, increase rapidly in number, multiply. Any other difficult words? I think I saw one just now, but I cannot find. Harbinger, yes. Harbinger, a person or thing that announces or signals the approach of another, or synonym, a sign, indicator. Widespread lying becomes the indicator signaling the fall from society, so social solidarity to chaos. So, Shomei, you wanted to say something?
Oh, I wanted to say that sometimes lying isn't so straightforward. Lying can also take the form whereby the facts are the same, okay? Whether I say one thing, present the story one way or present the story another way. the fact I'm using the same facts. Unfortunately, how I present the facts has got to go back to the intent of the perception of the thinking that I want you to, as I want you, the recipient of the message, to receive, to have it, to understand it. Yeah. So in that way, it is an indirect way of lying.
Yes. So do you have specific example in mind?
So let's say, okay, let's say we say that somebody is very disappointed with the fact that she didn't get her job.
Yeah.
You know, my friend is very disappointed with that she didn't get a job, and she's going on and on about her, you know, why she's feeling so sad and so forth. But the reality is that this somebody is, yes, disappointed she didn't get a job, but she may be talking about something else. But because I want you to say, feel a certain way about her, I create the perception by the way I spin the story using the same facts. It's a very crude example. Sorry, I can't think.
Okay. Maybe let's try to find a specific. I think I kind of understand what you meant. So maybe we can try another example. For example, let's say we visit someone's house. Maybe it's our partner's parents or something like that, or yeah, just your friend's house maybe. And then you visit them for dinner, and then they cook something for you. And then they ask you, okay, firstly, when you try the food, it is one of the worst food that you have tried in your life. Yeah, just an example. And then you will ask, how is the food? And then you did not want to, you know, insult or hurt them. Then how would you reply? So if you say directly, oh my, this is one of the worst food that I have tasted in my life, then of course it's not so nice to your friend, right? So how would you reply? Show me, how would you say it? How would you reply your friend?
Sorry, can't think of a better, good response for now. Okay. I pass for now.
Yeah. I mean, one way we can say, this food is interesting. Or you can also say, I have never tasted something like this before. Yeah, so we don't have to straight away tell our opinion, but we can, you know, package it in a skillful way so that we don't have to lie. But is this, sorry?
Marcel, I wonder in your example, right? If I say, oh, this actually tastes different from what I'm used to, it's like kind of package it a bit, but I'm also not telling a lie, right?
Yeah.
So speech is very, it's quite difficult, you know, and it's in our everyday life. So I think we all have to master this. Yeah, but if I say that, oh, it is different from what I'm used to, I think the message has been brought across. That maybe, you know, it doesn't taste as sweet as it should be.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we all have to package it really skillfully, because I used to be the one that has very straightforward. Yeah, just tell everything that's on my mind. Yeah, even though it tastes bad, I'll just tell them straight away it tastes bad. But then it does tend to create animosity between me and people around me. Yeah, but when I package it differently, sometimes they get the message, but they don't get as hurt as well. So
yeah, because there's always this line, you know, the truth hurts, right? So I find sometimes it's very nice to be very truthful, but But then if the recipient is maybe a sensitive person, or the truth might shock the person, then the compassion side of you, like you say, you want to create maybe a better atmosphere, then sort of contradicts to that. So
yes, exactly. And I experienced this in my first job because I was very blatant. Then I did not filter what I said, and I created a lot of animosity between me and my colleagues, resulting in me having a difficult time in my first job. But then gradually I start to learn, I should not say it this way. I should be more careful in saying what's on my mind. So I learned it the hard way.
So you've been molded by the society.
Well, kind of. Anyway, thanks Billy for sharing. So Xiaoming, is that something that relates to your point, or what you mentioned is different? You are muted, sorry. Hey, you're muted, Xiaoming.
Okay, maybe we can consider the example of, say, how the COVID news is being reported. Okay, it gives us every day, everybody wakes up before they go to bed. The first thing they check is how many deaths or how many cases, right? So we all get very excited about it, as if that's the only illness that can kill all of us. But the reality is that if the information, say, for instance, had been complemented with facts about flu or dengue fever, which equally can kill people, then our understanding of the story will be different. So by drawing the same parallel, the question is, could the truth have been sharpened?
Okay, that's an interesting angle. Okay, any other comments or questions before we wrap up for today? So today, I think just befitting, maybe I end up with something fresh from the oven. It just came up yesterday. Do you guys keep up with the news? So the MP Shah Khan, so it's just yesterday, admits to lying in parliament about sexual assault case. So if you keep up in the news, this is just came up yesterday afternoon. And this is not my political views. You can read this in the paper. Yeah, so just befitting our topics for today. So if no more comments, any more comments or questions? If not, let's do a dedication. 燕消三障之烦恼，燕的智慧证明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And have a truthful Tuesday ahead. Yeah. So maybe as just a quick one. Maybe if you guys will, you can think of these lines. These three: greed as the chief motive results in lying, and hatred as the motive to lie, and also delusion as motive to lie. You can think about it and also maybe do some research, and tomorrow we can share the examples that you have in mind, be it your personal experience or a public story that we all can relate. So that's all I have for today. Thanks everyone for participating. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Marcel. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.